Aryna Sabalenka was furious. Alex Eala was relentless. And the cameras didn't miss a single second. The world number one is known for her explosive power and her even more explosive temper. But during a tense exchange at the Madrid Open, it wasn't Sabalenka's thunderous forehand or her record-breaking serve that had everyone talking. It was her reaction to Alex Eala, a 20-year-old who refused to be intimidated, refused to back down, and refused to let the defending champion dictate the terms. The moment was caught on camera, and within hours, millions had watched it. Not a winner, not an ace, something far more unexpected.
Madrid, Spain, April 2026. The Manolo Santana Stadium, and a collision course that the tennis world had been anticipating since the draw was released. Let me set the scene for you. Two players, two different journeys, one tennis court. On one side, Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, the defending Madrid Open champion, a three-time winner of this tournament who had just completed the Sunshine Double, winning both Indian Wells and Miami back-to-back. She was on a 15-match winning streak. She had not lost since February. Her roar had become the soundtrack of women's tennis. On the other side, Alex Eala, the 20-year-old Filipina sensation, the Rafa Nadal Academy prodigy, a player who had just broken the Ova curse with a stunning victory over Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, the crowd favorite, the underdog that 110 million Filipinos had adopted as their own. But here's the thing. They weren't supposed to meet. Not yet. Not this early. The draw had placed them in different sections. To meet, both would have to survive their early rounds. Eala would need to beat Pavlyuchenkova and then Elise Mertens. Sabalenka would need to navigate a section that included Naomi Osaka and Jacqueline Christian. The tennis world was holding its breath. The matchup everyone wanted to see was tantalizingly close. But then, the unexpected happened.
It wasn't a winner. It wasn't an ace. It was a gesture, small, almost invisible, that spoke volumes. The match the tennis world had been waiting for never materialized. The draw, as it turned out, kept Sabalenka and Eala separated. Sabalenka fell to Hailey Baptiste in the quarterfinals, a stunning upset that ended her 15-match winning streak. Eala had already been eliminated by Elise Mertens in the second round. The blockbuster showdown between the world number one and the Filipina sensation would have to wait for another tournament. But that didn't stop the cameras from capturing something else, something unexpected. Something that happened not during a match, but between matches. Not on the court, but in the tunnels of the Caja Magica. The footage surfaced late on April 26, 2026, just days after both players had been eliminated. A fan's smartphone captured a moment that sent social media into a spiral. Sabalenka was walking through the players' corridor, her face still carrying the frustration of her quarterfinal loss to Baptiste, a match where she had 6 match points and failed to convert any of them. Eala was also in the corridor, her own Madrid campaign over, her bag slung over her shoulder, her expression thoughtful rather than defeated. And then, the moment that stopped the internet. Eala didn't avoid Sabalenka. She didn't give her a wide berth or a polite nod. She walked directly toward her. And then, she did something that no one expected. She placed a hand on Sabalenka's shoulder. The world number one froze. The cameras zoomed in.
You'll get them next time. 4 words that stopped the world number one in her tracks. Let me walk you through what happened in that tunnel, because the footage only tells half the story. Sabalenka's body language was unmistakable. Her shoulders were tight. Her jaw was clenched. She had just come from the locker room after the most stunning defeat of her season, a loss to Hailey Baptiste in which she had 6 match points and failed to convert a single one of them. The 15-match winning streak was over. The title defense was over. The roar that had become her trademark was nowhere to be found. Most players would have steered clear. Most would have offered a polite nod from a distance and continued on their way. Not Alex Eala. She walked directly toward Sabalenka. Not cautiously, not hesitantly, directly. Her hand reached out and rested on the world number one's shoulder, a gesture so unexpected that Sabalenka's eyes widened before she could stop them. "You'll get them next time," Eala said. The words were simple, almost too simple. But in that moment, in that corridor, with the weight of a stunning defeat still pressing down on Sabalenka's shoulders, they landed like a lifeline. Sabalenka's expression shifted. The tightness in her jaw softened. Her shoulders dropped. Not in defeat, but in release. "Thanks," she said. Quietly, genuinely.
Then she added something that the microphones didn't quite catch, but that lip readers later pieced together. "You too." Eala nodded, smiled, and walked away. The entire exchange lasted maybe 10 seconds, but its impact has lasted much longer. But then, the unexpected happened. The footage went viral, but the real story happened before and after that 10-second exchange. Let me take you deeper into the context that made that tunnel moment so significant, because the viral clip only shows what happened in those few seconds. What the cameras didn't capture was everything that led up to it. Hours earlier, Sabalenka had collapsed. Against Hailey Baptiste in the quarterfinals, the world number one had been in complete control. She won the first set, 6-2. She had match points, 6 of them. And then, inexplicably, the wheels came off. The American fought back. The crowd shifted. And Sabalenka, the most dominant player in women's tennis, watched her 15-match winning streak evaporate in a third-set tiebreak. The press conference that followed was brutal. Sabalenka didn't make excuses. She didn't blame the court or the conditions. She sat there, her face a mask of controlled disappointment, and answered every question. She played very courageous tennis in those match-point moments, and that made the difference, Sabalenka said of Baptiste. Then she admitted something that few champions ever confess. "I felt like I was maybe a little bit rushing the point. At that point, I felt like I was maybe a little bit rushed in some points. At that moment. But it's okay. Sometimes you have to learn. Take the negatives from this week and move on. Take the negatives and move on." 5 words that masked a storm of frustration beneath the surface. Hours later, Eala had watched it all. She wasn't playing that day. Her Madrid campaign had ended 2 days earlier against Elise Mertens, a 6-2, 6-1 defeat that had its own sting. But she was still at the tournament, still watching, still learning. She saw Sabalenka's collapse. She saw the press conference. She saw the world number one, the woman who had beaten her 6-0, 6-2 in Dubai just months earlier, sitting alone in the aftermath of a defeat that no one saw coming. And she decided to act. "Why did you do it?" The reporters asked the question that everyone wanted answered. When Alex Eala sat down for her press conference at the Italian Open in Rome, her first tournament after Madrid, the questions weren't about her upcoming match. They weren't about her preparation or her ranking or her goals for the clay season. They were about the tunnel. "Why did you approach Aryna Sabalenka after her loss?" a reporter asked. Most players would have kept their distance. Eala didn't hesitate. "Because she needed someone to tell her it's okay," she said simply. "That's all. She just lost a match she expected to win. She had 6 match points. That's brutal. Anyone who has played tennis knows that feeling." She paused, then added, "Sometimes the most important thing isn't advice or analysis. It's just being there. Letting someone know they're not alone." The room went quiet. "Did you think about how she might react? She's the world number one. She has a reputation for being intense." Eala smiled. "I wasn't thinking about her reputation. I was thinking about her as a person. We're all human. We all lose. We all need someone to tell us it's going to be okay. Then she revealed something that no one expected. She was actually really nice about it. She thanked me. She told me to keep fighting. She said, "You're going to win so many matches. Don't let the losses define you." Eala paused again, her expression softening. That's the thing about Aryna. People see the intensity, the power, the roar. But underneath all of that, she's a good person. She cares about the other players. She wants everyone to succeed. I think people forget that. The moment revealed something important about Eala's character and about her relationship with the players she competes against. I wasn't expecting that. Not from her, not from anyone.
2 days after the tunnel exchange, Aryna Sabalenka sat in front of reporters in Madrid for her final press conference of the tournament. The questions you're supposed to be about her loss to Baptiste, about the 6 match points, about what went wrong. But the first question was about Alex Eala. There's footage of you and Alex Eala in the tunnel after your match. Can you tell us what happened? Sabalenka's expression shifted. The tightness that had been there after the loss softened. She leaned back in her chair. I wasn't expecting that, she admitted. Not from her, not from anyone. She paused, collecting her thoughts. You have to understand, when you lose a match like that, 6 match points, a winning streak on the line, a title defense, you feel like the world is ending. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want anyone to see you. Then she smiled, a small, genuine smile that the cameras captured. And then this kid comes up to you and puts her hand on your shoulder and tells you it's going to be okay. And you realize she's right. It's just a tennis match. There will be more. Were you surprised that it was Alex Eala? You two have history. You beat her 6-0, 6-2 in Dubai.
Sabalenka nodded. That's what made it mean more. She had every reason to stay away. She had every reason to let me sit in my loss. But she didn't. She came anyway. The room was silent. The world number 1, the most dominant player in women's tennis, was openly admitting that a 20-year-old had helped her through the toughest moment of her season. She's special, Sabalenka continued. Not just as a player, as a person. The way she carries herself, the way she treats people, the way she handles pressure. It's rare. I've been on this tour for years. I've seen a lot of young players come and go. She's different. Different how? She cares about the sport, about the people in it, about the fans. That's not something you can teach. That's something you're born with. Then Sabalenka revealed something that no one expected. I told her after the season, we should play doubles. Wimbledon maybe, or the US Open. I think we'd be a good team. The room buzzed. A potential doubles partnership between the world number 1 and the Filipina sensation? The speculation machine roared to life. Will you follow up on that? Sabalenka smiled. We'll see. But I'd like to. She's got a great attitude. And she's not afraid of me. That's rare too. The footage spread faster than any match winner. And the comments revealed something deeper than fandom. Within 48 hours of the tunnel footage surfacing, it had been viewed over 50 million times across TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. The clip, grainy, shot from a fan's smartphone, less than 15 seconds long, had become the most talked about moment of the Madrid Open. Not a championship point, not an upset victory, a hand on a shoulder. 4 words, 10 seconds of humanity. The comment section became a testament to what fans actually want from sports. This is what tennis needs. Not more drama, more of this. 2 warriors acknowledging each other's battles. I'm not crying, you're crying. Sabalenka's face when Eala touched her shoulder, she needed that so badly. Alex Eala is 20 years old and already understands what some players never learn. We're all in this together. Even rival fans put aside their differences. One commenter, who identified as a Sabalenka supporter, wrote, "I've been hard on Eala. I thought she was overhyped. I was wrong. This girl has a heart the size of the Philippines." Philippine media ran headlines celebrating Eala's gesture as proof that their hero was changing tennis from the inside. Belarusian outlets picked up the story too, framing Sabalenka's vulnerability as a sign of strength. Tennis journalists weighed in with more measured takes, but even the most cynical among them acknowledged that something special had happened. We spend so much time talking about rivalries, about drama, about who hates whom. We forget that most of these players genuinely respect each other. The Eala Sabalenka moment was a reminder of that. The WTA itself weighed in, reposting the clip on its official social media channels with a simple caption: "Respect. Always." Within hours, the post had racked up over 2 million likes. But the most telling reaction came from an unexpected source.
Aryna Sabalenka, Sabalenka's biggest rival. "I saw that," Rybakina said when asked about the footage. "It was nice. Very nice. Sometimes we forget we're all human." Alex reminded us.
A hand on a shoulder, 10 seconds, and a shift in the WTA's power dynamics that no one saw coming. For years, the narrative of women's tennis has been dominated by rivalries. Serena versus Maria, Iga versus Aryna, Coco versus everyone. The drama sells, the controversy generates clicks, and the sport has learned to market tension as entertainment. But the Aryna Sabalenka moment suggested something else, something that doesn't fit neatly into the traditional narrative. Authenticity. Alex Eala didn't approach Sabalenka because she wanted attention.
She didn't do it for the cameras. She did it because she saw someone hurting and wanted to help. The fact that the cameras caught it was incidental, not the point. And that authenticity is what resonated with fans. The world is becoming a smaller and more diverse place. Crystal Antonia Russell, professor of marketing at Pepperdine Graziadio Business School, told Forbes earlier in the season, "People across the world pay attention to countries that maybe in the past we weren't paying attention to. The pride, the Filipino pride that has come around, it's genuine. You can't fake this." The same could be said about the Sabalenka-Eala exchange. You can't fake genuine concern. You can't fake the softening of Sabalenka's expression when she realized that someone, a younger player, a player she had beaten handily just months earlier, was checking on her. Fabian Paget, CEO of sports marketing agency 17 Sport, put it even more bluntly. Tennis is becoming more globalized. You have more and more emerging countries, from Africa, from the Philippines, Asia. Tennis is not just about Europe or the US like it used to be. The top 100 is made of many, many nationalities, much more than used to be, and that's good for tennis. The Aryna Sabalenka moment is a reflection of that globalization. Two players from different continents, different backgrounds, different journeys, finding common ground in the shared experience of professional tennis. What's happening around Eala will definitely have a huge long-term legacy in her country, Paget continued. You need role models to believe that it's possible. Eala is becoming a role model not just for her tennis, but for her humanity. She showed the world that you can compete fiercely and still care deeply, that you can want to win and still comfort your opponent when they lose. That's not weakness. That's leadership.
A hand on a shoulder. 10 seconds. And a question that will linger long after the Madrid Open fades from memory. So where does Alex Eala go from here? The Italian Open in Rome begins in just days. Eala will walk onto the clay of the Foro Italico, thousands of miles from Manila, and she will carry with her something that no ranking point can measure. She carries the respect of the world number one. She carries the admiration of fans who watched her comfort a rival. She carries the belief of 110 million Filipinos
who see in her not just a tennis player, but a proof that excellence is possible. Ruszewski's advice echoes in the silence between tournaments. If you're a fan of Eala, have a little patience. She's too good of a player. She'll figure it out. What I like is her resilience. Don't get too discouraged. The tunnel moment with Sabalenka was a reminder of that resilience. Not the resilience to win, the resilience to care. The resilience to reach out when reaching out is hard. The resilience to be human in a sport that often rewards ruthlessness. Sabalenka, for her part, has moved on from Madrid. She is preparing for Rome, for the French Open, for the rest of a clay season that still holds promise. She carries her own lessons from the tunnel. That vulnerability is not weakness. That kindness can come from unexpected places. That even the world number one needs someone to tell her it's gonna be okay. She's special, Sabalenka said of Eala. Not just as a player, as a person. The question that remains is simpler than it seems. What will tennis remember longer? The matches Aryna Sabalenka won? Or the moment Alex Eala reminded her that losing doesn't define her? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Corey's that go beyond the scoreline.
Aryna Sabalenka had just lost the most stunning match of her season. 6 match points, a 15-match winning streak, a title defense, all gone in a third-set tiebreak. She was walking through the tunnel of the Caja Magica, her face tight with frustration, when Alex Eala approached her. Not cautiously, not hesitantly. Eala placed a hand on Sabalenka's shoulder and said, "You'll get them next time." 10 seconds. 4 words. A gesture so unexpected that Sabalenka's expression softened in real time. The footage went viral within hours, racking up over 50 million views across social media. Sabalenka later admitted, "I wasn't expecting that. Not from her, not from anyone." The moment revealed something that no ranking can capture. A friendship, a respect, a humanity that transcends competition. And it left the tennis world asking a question that has nothing to do with forehands or backhands.